So originally, I was going to talk about the new Vampire Weekend album today, but instead I want to talk about something a bit more on the down low, Big Thief's new album, U.F.O.F. And I say on the down low, but really, this band's been gaining some real traction ever since they put out two great albums in the past 2 years, both of which feature some great raw folk rock that has a very soft side to it, thanks to Adrian Lenker's very soft-spoken vocal melodies. And I'm happy to say that on this third album, even with this traction they're gaining, they really don't compromise their sound. I would even argue that they go even further against the grain, as you really won't find a standout single on here. There's not really a masterpiece or a Paul or a Shark Smile. No, this is a album that sets up shop in a much subtler environment that's very stripped down and laid back. But even with this quainter sound, they're able to produce something that sounds full and lush and atmospheric, which is made immediately clear on the opener here, Contact. It's a song that really grounds itself in acoustic guitars and showcases Lanker's command of melody, but near the end it gets juxtaposed with these weird shrieks and these electric guitars that come in, and it really just shows the combination of peacefulness and melancholy you get on this album, both lyrically and in sound. And even the name itself, Contact, alludes to the themes of supernatural and extraterrestrial exploration you'll see on this album. And it's really great to see Lanker tackle these themes in their lyrics, especially on a song like U.F.O.F, where Lanker seems to be parting ways with a loved one of sorts, but the way it's told in her lyrics, it's so cryptic, and Lanker's lyrics are cryptic as they are, and so hard to read, but when applied to something like the supernatural and extraterrestrials, it just becomes even weirder and harder to decrypt, which really just adds to the replayability of all this. She's really a master lyricist, and it's shown all across this album, and especially here. And also the song shows the production on here, which is very well done. It never takes away from the rawness. The production done on this album, it just adds a certain ambiance to everything, which is shown on like Cattails, where near the end of the song you get these weird like reverse pianos chiming in, and it's very very tastefully done and just adds to this atmosphere that the entire album has. Not to mention that this album features probably like the best 3-song run of their discography, their 3-album discography. Right in a row, we get my 3 favorite songs on this album, starting with Orange. And this is no disservice to the entire band, what I'm about to say, because the acoustic guitar work on here, the riffs, excellent. The percussion is fantastic throughout. But really what I think makes Big Thief is Adrian Lenker, her vocal delivery, her emotional vulnerability, and that's shown on Orange, where we get just her and some acoustic guitar work. And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous song. And once again, I'm not going to act like I know what the hell she's talking about all the time. Clearly, this is some sort of lament for someone, but even if I don't really have the connection fully there, I can tell she's emotionally connected to every song she writes, and therefore I too am emotionally invested. You can just hear it in her voice, not just in the poetry of the lyrics. Something that's also featured on Terminal Paradise, where her voice starts to break, and you can really just feel it there. Which is also a song that features the more ties to nature we got on this album as well. I forgot to mention that. There's like a weird link between like the supernatural and nature, and isolationism as well, which I'm sure contributes to the quieter sound we get on here. But anyways, that's a tangent. Let's talk about Century. This song kind of marks a turning point on the album, where we sort of start going back to the sound we hear more on the first 2 albums, while still holding on to that consistent sound we get throughout the album. You really don't lose any consistency at any point in this album, which I love. But yeah, you can tell this song's a little more upbeat. The bass line is killer. The acoustic guitars make everything so laid back. And I like the mixing on this one, where Lanker, her voice is like especially up front in this one. It makes for sort of an intimate experience, I guess. And overall, I think it has the best melody on the album. But Strange definitely comes close. I think it's the most precise song in the way the melody's articulated and how the instrumentation sometimes follows those vocals. And just the seamless transition from verse to chorus, it's all very well done. It also has the strangest lyrics, which are just the most abstract of what are already abstract lyrics.
But overall, yeah, it's a solid song.
And then you also have the two songs that were bridged over from Lanker's solo album, which are From and Terminal Paradise. And those are great songs on that album, and they are great songs here. I'd argue that they are even better as they're given the same treatment in terms of instrumentation as the other songs on here. And I could keep going, but I won't because I'm just going to keep repeating myself. All you need to know is that you won't find filler on here. Everything feels purposeful, premeditated, and it's an album that demands to be listened to front to back. Because out of context, some of these songs might be considered to be somewhat underwhelming because there isn't a big single like Masterpiece. Some people might point to like Open Desert as something that perhaps meanders a bit too much. But when put all together, this album creates an atmosphere, an aura that is undeniable. And as always, Adrienne Lenker demands your attention with her emotional vocals. Overall, I think it's Big Thief's best album, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I'm giving U.F.O.F. a 9 out of 10. So that is my opinion, and I openly invite yours in the comments below. Was I too generous, or is this album as great as I just said it was? Also, if you have any suggestions for what I should review in the future, I am very receptive to those. In terms of reviews, I'm not sure what the future holds for me. Besides the new Remo Drive album on the 31st, I'll definitely be reviewing that. But if you did enjoy this review and you want to see what I do next, then please do stick around and subscribe. Otherwise, that about does it.